Last July, more than 2/3 of U.S. evening departures took off late. Some never left at all. You're about to see why summer nights are an airline's perfect storm and how to dodge fees, flops, and sleep debt while everyone else camps under the departure board. Quick poll. What's the longest you've ever sat on a sweltering jetway after 6 p.m.? Have you ever watched the gate clock slip past 7 p.m. while your jet idled behind a wall of flickering thunderheads? The captain muttering about flow control you can't see? Late-day heat pumps, convective storms sky high over every East Coast hub, and ATC's only weapon is the ground stop. On a typical July evening, the Cascade sidelines 2,600 departures and cancels 690 outright. Last August, Charlotte stacked 18 jets on one taxiway while crews timed out beside dark cockpit screens. That rain cloud isn't the real problem. Travelers lose 2 hours of gate limbo, prepaid hotel nights, and rebook fees that dwarf the fare. Beat the storm clock at the calendar, not the counter. Book summer flights before noon or at first light. Those slots dodge the thunder grid 73% of the time. If you must leave after work, pay the layover and layer insurance. Activate free SMS alerts on your inbound tail. Screenshot the .tarmac delay rule and preload United's self-rebook tool. If you must leave after work, pay the layover and layer insurance. Activate free SMS alerts on your inbound tail. Screenshot the DOT tarmac delay rule and preload United's self-rebook tool. When projected ground stop odds hit 50%, DM the airline on X requesting a voluntary reroute through a southern hub. No change fee when you cite the National Severe Storms Forecast. One honeymoon couple slid to a 10 a.m. departure and still caught there. Santorini Ferry, while everyone else camped at JFK. FAA logs for July 2024 show 1,412 flights wiped from evening schedules and 320 crews forced into surprise layovers. When late-day delays pile up, the critical counter isn't on the gate display, but on the captain's iPad. Federal rules cap a pilot's duty day at 14 hours. Hit 14-hour 01, and that Airbus is legally shackled to the jet bridge. An airport motel that costs the airline 5,000 points can cost you an entire wedding weekend. The math is ugly. Average timeout cancels at 8:37 p.m., and 61% of those tails don't relaunch before lunchtime. You'll end up marooned in the food court for 16 mind-numbing hours, and a 2-hour snag tonight snowballs into an entire workday lost tomorrow. Solution: race the clock, not the queue. The moment you're inbound slips 3 hours late, paste its registration into FlightAware and add the crew's morning segments. If they push at 7 a.m., the pumpkin strikes 9 p.m. sharp. Walk, don't jog. To a staffed counter and invoke Rule 242, hop the next Alliance flight before the masses smell cancellation. Quote, FAA Part 117.29b barring duty day extensions, and remind the agent the DOT labels crude amount cancellations controllable, which unlocks meals and hotel vouchers on the spot. Your premium card concierge can reserve the last airport Marriott room while everyone else scrolls booking apps in disbelief. Always track the pilot's clock, not the departure board. It's 8:15 p.m. in Dallas, and your jet for Phoenix hasn't even landed. Because its metal twin left Newark 90 minutes late, thanks to a tug that never showed. One lagging tail can wreck an entire route map. A single 28-minute hold at ORD ballooned. Into 2,900 missed connections and 117 aircraft swaps, every leg that follows inherits the bruise. A family of 4 in row 21 watched their red-eye cancel, then spent $410 on an airport Marriott and pet-sitting fees back home. Connection evaporates in 10 minutes. Stop treating flight numbers like strangers and start stalking tail numbers. Enter your outbound aircraft's registration in FlightAware while you sip airport coffee. If its inbound segment is trending more than 45 minutes late, pivot. Elite status helps, but anyone can slip the chain. Call the airline and request an in-system reroute via their next bank using the same fare bucket. Mention the carrier's controllable ERAPS policy, and the agent often waives change fees without a whimper. Mention the carrier's controllable policy, and the agent often waives change fees without a whimper. Southwest flyers can self-swap in-app, while Delta loyalists may pull a same-to-confirmed seat for free after 5 p.m. If all else fails, Ask ground staff to endorse your ticket onto an alliance partner under Rule 240. A nurse heading to a night shift in Phoenix did exactly that. Grabbed the 7 p.m. American hop and arrived before her scrapped original. Ignore that seductive evening fare flashing $42 below the morning options. The discount lives only until the first delay tax hits. Airlines price last wave seats to fill empty cabins, but the true bill shows up 4 hours later. Rideshares surge, hotels sell out, and meal costs stack. That $42 deal routinely morphs into $128 in hotel charges and $40 in transport. Crushing frugality. Buyer burned. In August, a backpacker who bragged about snagging the cheapest fare to Denver ended up spending more on nachos during an overnight diversion than the flight itself. Evening markdowns often come with an ominous footnote: not protected against misconnects. Flip the script by letting your credit card's trip delay benefit pick up the tab. Book the slightly pricier pre-dawn or early afternoon fare through the card's portal. If a mechanical snag forces an unplanned layover, most premium cards reimburse hotels and meals up to $500 per ticket. Pair that with the airline's 24-hour free change rule to reshop the itinerary if prices drop the next morning. You can also lock fares for 24 to 48 hours on American or use Southwest's no-fee reprice to chase later markdowns without committing to the night flight lottery. A Brazilian grad student leveraged those moves, flew out at 10 a.m. and pocketed the difference for a Red Rocks concert. Instead of an airport cot, tap subscribe now so tomorrow's flight tips land before your boarding zone is called. Maria landed in Doha just as her Tokyo connection was rolling back. Middle East hubs run a razor blade schedule. One delay at Heathrow and the entire bank of onward flights scatters like dominoes. Last summer, 9,300 evening misconnects in Europe averaged 33-hour arrival slippage and $740 in out-of-pocket costs. While at carnage, total mayhem. Customs lines, rescreening, hotel hunts, each eats your vacation in spoonfuls. A honeymoon pair bound for Bali wound up on a polyester sofa in Muscat, staring at a vending machine dinner while the airline blamed weather upstream. Turn the hub's clock game into your home field advantage. Book at least 90 minutes for Shanghai transfers, 120 if U.S. immigration is involved. Even when booking engines tempt with minimum legal connects, screenshot the published minimum connection time chart. Waive it if agents resist rerouting. Better yet, stitch the trip under one ticket number. Alliances must protect downstream legs at no extra cost when delay is controllable. Quote EU 261 Article 5 on denied boarding and demand a duty of care hotel if the rebook slips past midnight. Carry on a change of clothes and meds so a misplaced checked bag doesn't derail day one. If a misconnect looks inevitable, open the airline app before landing and self-select a later flight. Carry a change of clothes and meds so a misplaced checked bag doesn't derail day one. If a misconnect looks inevitable, open the airline app before landing and self-select a later flight. Gate agents see fewer seats than mobile inventory during IROPS. Chase Sapphire reserves trip interruption. Perk reimburses $500 per traveler after 6-hour delays, covering taxis and dinner while others queue. An Australian backpacker used those tactics, caught the dawn flight, and still made sunrise yoga in Ubud. Phoenix's ramp hit 122 degrees Fahrenheit last July. 14 flights dumped luggage and 9 canceled outright. Searing stat: air is thinner when it's hot, forcing performance tables to slash allowable weight. The ugly secret: crews jettison bags first, then volunteers, then unlucky passengers. 67% of rerouted travelers still arrived 19 hours late and paid $85 in extra meals. Cabin like a sauna. Mitigate the mercury by picking sunrise schedules. Cooler temps add lift margin, keeping all bags on board 92% of the time. If the evening slot is unavoidable, choose forward rows. Airlines balance weight for 2 aft, and the last-minute weight restriction acts often swings at travelers booked in the rear. Pack critical meds, chargers, and 1 outfit in carry-on, so a jettisoned checked bag won't melt your vacation. Photograph your bag inside and out before you hand it over. DOT rules compel airlines to refund bag fees plus essentials, and pictures end arguments. Unexpected gate claim. Flash DOT Part 250 on involuntary bump rights, and insist on written notice plus cash, not vouchers. One sentence: just breathe. Pay taxes on award tickets with a premium card. Trip delay coverage triggers after 6 hours, even on points flights. High-elevation airports like Denver and Mexico City amplify the burn. Book Sunrise or Risk Roulette. A family followed these plays, boarded the 6 a.m. hop, and splashed into their Cancun resort before noon while the evening crowd still wilted on plastic chairs. Heat conquered. Ever seen a boarding pause while a lone mechanic stares at a blinking valve and thought, why now? Evening departures gamble on razor-thin maintenance capacity. Airlines cram overnight checks into 3-hour windows. Yet every sunset delay shoves jets into the queue like bumper cars. One loose sensor, added 27 minutes, triggered 540 missed connections, and cost $1.8 million in crew hotels. Last September, a Seattle red-eye sat parked while technicians scavenged a part off a 737 next door. The flight was canceled at 10:12 p.m., and half the cabin slept on cots under fluorescent glare. Tools down, cabin silent. Protect yourself by front-loading reliability. Book aircraft that finish their day early. Biz-class search sites show tail routing. Pick planes ending shifts before 5 p.m. so they get full overnight maintenance, not tree-up. If your gate screen flips to awaiting maintenance, pull the registration into the FAA Service Difficulty Reports database. Chronic offenders give you leverage to request an immediate rebook under DOT Controllable Delay Guidelines. Flash 14, CFR Part 121.563. The captain must defer only items listed in the minimum equipment list. If the fix looks grim, ask to be moved to an alliance partner before seats disappear. Premium cardholders can tap concierge agents who see interline inventory hidden from public sites, while status flyers may snag the jump on a wide-body positioning to the same city. One Ella-bound musician used that playbook, hopped in earlier 321, and made his sound check while the canceled crowd queued for snack vouchers. You glimpse city lights on descent when the captain announces a technical hold. And 15 minutes later, you're refueling 300 miles away because the destination. Airport's night noise curfew slammed shut. Sydney charged carriers $820,000 in fines last season and diverted 210 flights curfew crunch. Utter madness. The detour to Canberra added 4 bus hours and torched prepaid Harbourview hotels for an entire tour group. Silence on the apron. Curfews hit hardest from May through August, when storm-stacked delays push arrivals past the witching hour. Beat the band by studying airport notices. London City closes at 10 p.m., Frankfurt at 11. Pivot to Heathrow or Dusseldorf. If your schedule skews late, book the first leg into a curfew-free alternate, like Gatwick instead of City, then train into town. If diversion looms mid-air, know your rights. Under EU 261 Article 7, a delay exceeding 3 hours from the original arrival time triggers €250 to €600 compensation. Even when the airline blames weather upstream, demand the written notice before leaving the replacement airport. Many travelers forget and lose the claim. Carry screenshots of local transport timetables so you're first to the taxi rank or rail desk. Card trip delay perks reimburse ground costs once the delay crosses 6 hours. For U.S. routes, the DOT Controllable Delay Policy compels airlines to cover overnight lodging when curfew diversions stem from scheduling, not storms, cite it firmly. A Chicago couple rerouted via Munich spent the delay in a free airport Hilton and still reached Tuscany breakfast while the original flight landed at noon. Curfew conquered. Evening departures lure with cheap fare glitter, yet every threat you heard, storms, crew clocks, heat weight dumps, curfews, circles the same bullseye. Late waves shred buffer time. The one move that outclasses every app and perk is simple. Grab the first bank out. Then treat midday slots like backups, nights like last resorts. Bank the hours now. Spend them on gelato later. Next up, how to pick storm-proof seats that dodge turbulence and score faster. Service the moment wheels lift. Not financial, legal, or flight advice. Verify with official airline policy.